All right, well, it's Friday and I crossed my daily goal. I'm happy with that and I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to take the profit off the table. I'm not going to overstay my welcome. I'm just going to make this another green day. So far, February has been off to a pretty good start. Green on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 3 days into the new month, earning myself a little bit of a profit cushion, which is good. I do see RSLS moving higher, and I'm glad to see it moving higher. Another halt there at 1870. Unfortunately for me, while it was the leading gapper, I didn't trade it. And my problem was that it was really selling off like all morning, right? Basically, you hit a high. It was squeezing after hours, and then at like 4 a.m., 4:30, it hits a new high, and that's been selling off since then. I did not really see this pop. It was below VWAP. I mean, I just didn't really expect it. So it pops up, it halts once, it resumes, it runs into VWAP, but it halts a second time, and right now it just resumed and halted a third time. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to chase this out of the halt because out of the second halt, because I could easily lose $1 or even $2 a share. And even with 2,000 shares, a small position, I could end up losing 3 or 4 grand on it. That's not how I want to finish my week. I want to finish my week with $5,704.87 in my pocket. And the only way I can do that is by shutting it down right here, right now, and living to trade another day. And so I'll be back at it on Monday. I'm not having like massive home run days, and I'm just kind of working with what I can get. But I'm grateful to have decent small-ish, small green days, decent sized green days, 5,700. That's not bad, right? That's above my daily goal, so I'm happy with that. So let's go to my first trade of the day. First trade was on Gene, 7 a.m. I jump in it at $3 at 7 a.m. It had an offering. That news came out at 8:30. I traded it at 7 a.m. So bright and early right here, and it squeezes from 3 up to a high of about 330. Made $900 on that first trade. But I added back on this dip right here at 315, and I got stopped as it broke 3, and I went from up 900 to down $260. All right, well, easy come, easy go. That's part of trading, right? So at 703, 705, whatever that was, I was down $250. And I then took a 1,000 share trade on GNS, which hit the scans at it was right around 7.15 here. I lost $8 on it, $8.25, which put me red on 2 out of 2 stocks I'd traded. Accuracy, not very good. All right, so I had taken 3 trades and I had 2 losers and 1 winner. All right, so I was at 33% accuracy as of about 7:15 a.m. But of course, early in the day and nowhere near my max loss, just kind of, a small red start. So I ended up waiting a little bit. I kind of sat tight and I was like, I don't know. I'm not really sure that I'm liking any of these. But then Gene, I got a couple more trades on it. And I'm up 800 on Gene, so it's not like I crushed it, but I got a couple more trades. I got back in Gene at about 7:30. So at 7:30 right here, let's see, where was this? Sorry, no, I got in at, I was looking at GNS, which I got in at $7.33. I'm looking at the wrong column. I got in Gene, let me look at where this was, at 292, and that was at 750. So that was right here. I got in Gene as it broke back over VWAP. So I got a trade on Gene here from 790 back up to a high of 303. 15,000 shares, started with 10, added another 5. So made about 900 on that trade, or maybe 1,200. And that right there was enough to put me green on the stock, and I didn't trade it again after that. It didn't hold 3. It came back down, and I was like, no, it's too weak. It's not looking good. And I switched gears. PXMD was one of the next ones I traded. PXMD squeezed up on news, as you can see here, right at about 8 a.m. This one popped up. I got in for the squeeze through 4. It ended up hitting a high of 430, which was pretty good. I only made $500 on it. I was kind of like, that wasn't so great. And I got back in it right here at 291 with 5,000 shares. It dipped down to 391. Dipped down to 375, and I was down, $700. It came back up, and I got out break even, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. Let's call it a day here. So that was a trade that I took at 8 a.m. or 8:30, whatever. Yeah, 8 a.m. and then took another trade right there at whatever time it is now, 9:45. And then we had HSCS, the big winner today. And this is kind of the nice thing, if you've noticed on the recaps from the last week or so, I've traded a number of different stocks. I've had sometimes 3 or 4 different stocks I've traded, a couple of small losers, and then there'll be one that ends up being a really nice trade. RSLS, well, I guess that could have been the nice trade if I had the guts to jump in. Although I don't honestly know, aside from just, a long for the break of 18, whole dollar breakout, dip there, then back through 18. There's a couple micro pullbacks. There was one right here at about 15.75, but that was right around the VWAP, so a little risky. But it just keeps going higher. Anyways, so a little FOMO on that, but what can you do? 4 halts in a row, can't win them all. So anyways, HSCS was the one that I did the best on with 4,300. So on this one, we got a squeeze pretty early here from like $1.50 up to 215 pullback. First pullback right here on the 1 minute. That gave a trade up to 239. Another pullback right here. I took the second one at 240. We got a squeeze up to a high of 288. Not bad. It then pulls back. It breaks below VWAP. It comes back up. It reclaims. I get back in at 260. It kind of stalls out here. It ends up hitting a high of 277 and pulls back. And then at the open, I got the red to green move here. I got in at 279, and we got a squeeze up to 3. And that was a nice trade for me, jumping in at 279. My thought on it was that if it breaks 279, that's the pre-market high, so we should get a squeeze. So my trade wasn't huge, but I added 5,000 shares at 279, and then I added more at 283 and 286, so I scaled up on that. Chased it a little bit, but got a decent trade. Unfortunately, we hit a high of 317, and then we've pulled back since then. So wasn't able to do better on it, but again, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that this is a nice green day. And as soon as I start staring at RSLS and thinking about how much I coulda, woulda, shoulda made if I'd punched it, I'm going to lose my appreciation for the profit that's already in my pocket because I'll be chasing something else. So I need to book this profit, I need to shut it down, and I need to live to trade another day. I'll be back at it on Monday. Right now, I'm glad to have a little bit of a cushion on the start of the new month. Let's see, yesterday I think I was up 3,000, and the day before might have been similar, about 3,000. So I'm up a little over 10,000 to start the month. I mean, again, it's not that's as much as someone else might make in just one trade. It took me 3 days to do it, but it gives me a little bit of a cushion. And then going into next week, I'll obviously, if I see action and it looks like it's time to step up, I certainly will. I do want to try to push a little harder when the market's hot, but I also want to be really, really careful chasing stocks that are like this one up 100% in 4 halts, because that's where I could end up, just for the sake of argument, this at some point this is going to halt down, and hopefully, for those that are still in it, you don't get stuck. But these they halt up, 2, 3, 4 times, and then they can halt back down, once or twice, and they can gap down, and you can get trapped, you can get stuck. You press the buy button, and then all of a sudden it's halting down and you're not able to sell and you're stuck in the halt down. And I've had that happen, and it's devastating because I remember one time I was in a stock that was halted down. And I knew that I was going to take a big loss on it. I mean, I didn't know how big it was going to be, but I knew I was going to take a big loss on it. And it ended up being a long halt. It was like, I don't know, 45 minutes or like an hour long halt. It was circuit breaker, but it just kept being halted, being halted. And so in the meantime, some other stocks started popping up and I started trading them. I was like, okay, I'll trade these. But I knew I was just offsetting what was going to be a big loss on resumption. And finally, the other stock resumed. I stopped out on it and ended up taking that, that big loss. And yeah, it's never fun when that happens. So manage your risk. As always, my results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success as a trader. So you might as well take it slow and practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. And if you're willing to take some risk and trade some of these big moving stocks, just remember that, what goes up can come back down, and you want to try to avoid, if you can, getting caught in, getting caught a little bit too high, because that can be painful. So there you've got the high and resumption a little bit lower. It hit a high of 21.45 and dipped down here to a low of 18.45, 3 points down. It's not halted down, but it's close to it. Yeah, but again, after 4 halts up, that's not surprising. So anyways, manage your risk, and I'll be back at it first thing Monday morning. All right, see you guys then.